This is why you should always clean your room. This is 18-year-old Julia Picard. This is her injured foot. And this is her messy room. Julia was down for some Netflix last Tuesday inside her seriously messy bedroom at her home in Papillion, Nebraska. She had to get up to get some popcorn, and when she did, she stepped on the charger. According to the Omaha World Herald, the high school student then took these photos of her foot and her room. Next, her mom, Mary, was on hand to pull the charger out. Picard was treated with a tetanus shot and is on antibiotics following the injury. The tweet with the photos reads, "When your room is this messy, you have to accept the consequences of not being able to see where you step." So clean your room, kids. Clean your room. Keep watching for more stories on bizarre and unfortunate injuries.
Basketball player's eyeball pops out of his head. New Zealand Breakers basketball player Akil Mitchell is recovering from a nasty eye-popping injury this week. On Thursday night, the 24-year-old was in the middle of a game when his left eye suddenly popped out of the socket. Mitchell fell to the ground in agony and was immediately treated for his injury. And while an injury like this might look eye-wateringly horrifying, it turns out it's actually not all that bad. The Breakers general manager told ESPN that the injury isn't as serious as it was initially believed to be. And going from Mitchell's latest tweet featuring a tongue-in-cheek glancing eyes emoji, he's apparently seeing just fine.
Woman slut drops onto metal pole and impales butt. Party girl Bonnie Lee Brown is tasting her 15 seconds of fame because of a dance move that bit her in the ass. On January 28th, Brown and her girlfriends were pre-gaming for a night out on the town in Sheffield, England. Getting their groove on before they hit the club, Bonnie Lee decided to bust out the slut drop. But what she failed to notice was a shoe rack sitting directly below her derriere. Ouch! Brown wound up having to get 3 stitches on her butt cheek and a tetanus shot in case of infection. Once she was done at the hospital though, she and her friends resumed their evening and danced the pain away. Not only that, Brown says she went to work the next day and went out again the next night. She's such a good sport, she uploaded the video for the rest of us to get a laugh. Who wouldn't want to party with this girl? Dance on, sister. Schoolboy suffers nasty burns from salt and ice challenge. Are you bored? Looking for something moronic to do to spice up your day? Well, you might consider the Salt and Ice Challenge, a craze that's been sweeping the internet for years and leaving doctors dumbfounded by the idiocy of kids these days. Earlier this week, a high school student in Swansea, Wales gave it a shot, and it turned out like this. Yeesh. The challenge involves placing salt somewhere on the body and then using an ice cube to press down on the area for as long as possible. Doing this creates a burning sensation as the salt, water, and ice combine to create a eutectic frigorific mixture, making the temperature significantly colder than the ice on its own. Once the participant finally gives up, initially they may feel an immediate numbing sensation in the affected area. That's because they've likely experienced nerve damage, resulting from 2nd or 3rd degree burns, similar to frostbite. What fun! The teen's mother published the photo to warn other parents of the dangers of this craze. A noble pursuit, without question, but unfortunately, as these nasty photos will prove, wherever there are kids susceptible to peer pressure and low on brain cells, there's a good bet you might find a pinch of salt and some ice pressed against someone's skin.
Firefighters use olive oil to free man with his head stuck in rocks. A Rhode Island man got his head stuck in rocks on Saturday while trying to reach for his dropped cell phone. The poor dude got trapped all the way up to his chest after he bent down to reach the phone on a rocky jetty in Narragansett. We can only imagine what that 911 call must have been like. Firefighters tried for over 2.5 hours to pull the guy out, but to no avail. Then they got a bright idea. They greased the man in olive oil and were then able to free him. He's in the hospital but is said to be okay. A local fire captain told WJAR NBC 10 that they've had similar cases to this in the past involving animals, but never a human. Well, guess there's a first time for everything.